We're back, guys. Week 6 with week 7 upcoming. We're here to recap that week 6. I got the dub. Happy to announce that.
I'm not very happy about my result. It was not great.
And unfortunately, now we both have the same record with us both being 2-4.
It's rough, and we're about to. I don't know. The title might give it away a little bit, but we're gonna see. I mean, this next week is huge for both of us. This is a big week, so just get ready. This is a big week, big episode. We're excited for what's coming week 7.
Oh yeah. So stories of the week. Start off with Russell Wilson, as everyone knows. He has been awful this year. He probably just had one of his worst games of the year.
That's bad.
Yeah, and he still says that. Like, how do you still say that? After a big L like that.
Broncos country.
He's the same record as my fantasy team, and he's talking smack, kind of. Like, can't be doing that.
Russ is washed now. No.
He's washed. I agree. Unless he can turn this around, I don't know. But they don't have a running back, so
yeah, I'll say it's not looking good for them. And on the other stories last week, NFC Beast was the story, and again this week, the Eagles. I guess the Eagles playing against the Cowboys, so technically not all the teams not involved here, but beating the Cowboys, staying undefeated, really big win for them. Cowboys probably one of the tougher teams that they were going to play, granted without Dak, but still big win. And then the Giants beat the Ravens, which is they're like a real team too. What are they, 4-1 now? So
5-1, I think.
5-1, yeah, 5-1. So it's like only one loss. NFC East is killing it this year, and it's just crazy. It's crazy to see, and it looks like, and it feels like it's legit. Like it feels like it's going to continue. So
and the crazy part is the Eagles-Cowboys game was pretty close, and Dak is coming back. So definitely something to keep an eye out on the NFC East side.
For sure. And I guess the last. Oh nope.
We'll get into that eventually.
Yeah,
last NFC East team that I'm sure.
I know. I was so ready. I got too excited.
I got too excited too.
All right.
Win. But obviously, blowout of the week. If you want to talk about that.
Yeah. So Patriots. I think this is our back-to-back weeks as blowout of the week, or they were featured in these 3 at least last week. Dominated the Browns. Bailey Zappi should just be the starting quarterback.
It's gonna be close. I don't know how you just choose Mac Jones again, but
I don't think Mac needs to come back. Zappi might be the next Brady. I don't know. I think that they kind of got that unlocked. And the Browns, as much as it is like the Patriots playing well and kind of similar theme with one of these other games, but the Browns maybe just disappointing just as much as the Patriots played well. And, maybe they just aren't the team we thought they were going to be at the start of this year, especially without Deshaun.
I couldn't agree more. Talking about disappointing, we have the Buccaneers, the team I did least expected to lose this week. Steelers lost their starting quarterback, Kenny Pickett, and Mitch Trubisky, I guess, delivered, and they beat the Bucs. It was more of the Bucs losing to themselves rather than the Steelers winning, but definitely still an upset of the week. We also have Jets, third straight week being on the upset of the week. Hats off to Robert Saleh. He said keep the receipts. We're looking at.
We have the receipts. We've made them the upset of the week, multiple picks in a row. I think it's at this point they are no longer upsets. Like, we can't count the Jets as underdogs anymore. We got to give them their respect. They will not be an upset of the week going forward. But crazy to see them beat the Packers still. And again, with similar to the Browns, it's like Packers are just not looking good. That offense is just
3-3.
Yeah,
losing receivers left and right too.
It's not looking good for them.
Final thing. We got the Commanders update here.
Now we can get to the last East team. Thank you. First, I think we need to start off by just mentioning at least that Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime is maybe one of the worst sporting events that's ever been in existence.
Couldn't agree more.
It's terrible. I wouldn't mind if there's never another Thursday night football game the way the last few have gone.
I mean, this week it should be better, Saints Cardinals, but I mean, the way it's been going the last 2 weeks, I
wouldn't be surprised if
may
it's
not
just
watch it. You know, like I don't know.
But this week, doesn't matter how bad the game was, we got the dub. And we're not going to focus on, how bad the Bears played. We're going to focus on how good we played. Our defense, only allowing a touchdown. Jonathan Allen, anchor of the defense. Great game. Brian Robinson, first career touchdown. He's in the end zone. It's only going to go up from here. And then obviously, I guess maybe not positive and a negative. I don't know. Quarterback situation now. I mean, I don't know.
We got Heineke coming in. I don't know what to think. I mean, I needed a change. I was kind of done with Wentz at this point. If it was Sam Howell, it's Sam Howell. I kind of expected Sam Howell to kind of come in, honestly, with Wentz being out 4 to 5 weeks. But I'm okay with Heineke. I just needed a little change. If Heineke starts, not looking good, especially with the tough matchup this week, I would say I want to see Howell.
I would say definitely at this point, Heineke has a short leash. Like, not because of anything Heineke has done, but Howell's a rookie. He looked solid in preseason. He was projected to go a lot higher than we ended up getting him at. And some people considered him a first-round quarterback.
Definitely.
Think he should definitely get a shot for sure. So
I think another thing to note about this game was it came down to the last play of the game again, back-to-back weeks. This time it was up to defense. They got the stop. I mean, barely. Mooney did. I think he made the catch, right? I don't know if it was just not in bounds or it wasn't across the goal line.
Yes, I don't think he made it all the way.
It's just coming down to the goal line, 2 straight games. Like, it's crazy. We could be 1-5 right now, but
really. But
then we could be 3-4 or 3-3.
3-3. Yeah, but we're not. We won
2-4 in between, just like me and you. 2-4.
Exactly.
There's still a slight bit of hope, yeah. Let's get into our fantasy league recap. You got Matt Cohen defeating Yusuke. Yusuke falling to 1-5.
And staying on the bottom of the league.
Yep. Well, actually, I was on the bottom, I think.
I guess not. Yeah, not
moving back to the bottom, moving me up.
To the bottom, returning to where he belongs. Alex came on the show and was able to get a win off of that. I think that's pretty meaningful. Shows some positive things. Happy for him beating Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Ian also on the show, beating Adwin as we discussed last week. Happy about that for him. Picked up a big dub. And then, we'll show more of it in a little bit, but just another dud for my team. Definitely need some, I think this week is a real crossroads, and to drop to 2-4, losing to Sammy like this. He only put up 90 points. This was a game that if this was the first week for me to beat Sammy, it was this week, and I didn't. So disappointed that I wasn't able to do that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, so my matchup on the other hand went great. Essentially big L for him. He lost his 4th straight game after talking the most smack out of anybody in the league after being 2-0 and sitting in first or second place, whatever it was. Now he's in last, or second to last, I guess. But
as he should be.
Feels good to have the same record as him after he talked all the smack and I just beat him. So suck on that, Matt. I know you're watching this. Yeah. I say we get into
I guess big move before this week's matchups. It did not impact anything, but just had to make note of it. Me and Adwin swapped top running backs, Derrick Henry for Jonathan Taylor. Taylor was out this week and Henry was on bye, so it did not impact this week's matchup. But going into next week, just wanted to note that. And I don't know. I mean, a big trade because of the players involved, but pretty lateral move, honestly. Adam and I talked about it, and kind of agree just where both of our teams are at right now. I'm pretty sure he's 3-3. I'm 2-4. He's willing to, gamble on the upside of Jonathan Taylor having that extra game right now. If Jonathan Taylor comes back and is RB1, he has Swift as his other running back. That's worth it for him. and Henry, a bit more consistent, more reliable with his production so far this season. And we know he's going to be a part of that Titans offense. So for me, especially now dropping to 2 and 4, just have a bit more security with my running backs to have Chubb and now Henry. I'm looking forward to that combination. So big trade just happened before this week's games, but did not impact the matchups. So just wanted to make that.
Good trade overall. I think fair, both sides.
Yeah.
So, standings. Good to not be on the bottom, as I just mentioned.
Yes, back to you stay on the bottom.
It's kind of crazy. Me and Anthony are both technically tied for the last playoff spot in the league with Matt Cohen and Matt L.
No, it's not. I feel like it really is just going to be a race for 6th place now Yusuke is only a game back. So between the 5 of us, but this week is definitely going to be big in terms of like separation between, just seeing who is really competing for that 6th spot, who's going to have a head start on that. As we're already at week 7. We're pretty far into the season. So
this week is crucial. If you lose here at 2 and 4, your playoff percentages are dropping significantly, I think.
And it's already dropped pretty significantly for me.
As you can tell, we're both pretty slim here.
It's only so much it can drop more. It's not looking
great. It can't get much worse,
32, hopefully I can stay in the 30s next week. That's the goal.
A win here and I'd say decent shot at playoffs.
Also, Sammy, 99%. I guess if he wins this week, he's just clinched effectively. I don't know. I guess he's just in. So
what was he last week? Do you remember?
He was 90. He was lower 90s last week.
Yeah, he's probably a game or 2 out from clinching. Yeah. And then how far do you think Yusuke is from being eliminated on the other end? A few games?
Probably, I'd say 2 games. I'd say 2.
You think 2?
Just effectively, not mathematically. I don't know the math, but
yeah,
if he loses, but if he loses 2 more games, I guess if he wins, but if he's 1 and 7, or if he's 2 and 6, what if I lost 2 straight games, I'd be done. 2 and 6 is season over.
We gotta win one of our next 2.
Yeah. I'll say one of the next 2 has to be a win.
Or we're done.
Can't drive. I have to stay within 2 games of 500.
He has to win, I guess, one of the next 2 too. But yeah.
All right. So I guess the actual matchups now. Again, Sammy beat me. I guess a big pickup for me. Ended up being my 2nd best performing player. Darnell Henderson. Unfortunately, taking him off of Jacob. Jacob made a slight miscalculation and might have it was an administrative error, I guess we'll add it up to. He was trying to, I guess I'll let you briefly explain, what you were trying to do and how I ended up getting it.
Basically, it was in hindsight not worth it. But I was done with Henderson. Akers should have been starting. He should have been having a solid role against the Panthers. And it blindsided me. He wants to trade. I didn't know that. They benched him this week, or they didn't even play him this week. Didn't suit him up. It's good because Akers will get a new change of scenery, I think. But I had Akers and Henderson on my bench the whole year. And the fact that Henderson is now an RB1.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate for you. To be fair, depending on where Akers goes, he could end up being, a fantasy-worthy option still. So I don't think that he's, totally... I don't think that he's, out of the picture for fantasy concerns, but Henderson is now RB1 in LA. So to have him on my team now, really valuable. I think that's a great pickup for me. And as long as he can maintain some of that same production, or at least volume in that offense, great for me. But outside of that, my team did trash and we lost. I got 20 ball. No one did well. I'll let you. And McManus is my best player. So I'll let you talk about something more positive.
Yeah, very happy with my matchup overall. As a manager, I didn't have much choice overall with my lineup. It was most people are on bye or they were hurt or Akers, that situation I just talked about. Screw that, dude. Geno Smith. I could have played him over Brady. They both scored about the same amount of points. Didn't really make a difference at the end of the day. I'm happy. Kareem Hunt. I mean, he'll be on my bench typically. Damian Pierce will typically be that guy. Very happy with this Deion Jackson pickup I had for the week. He got hurt at the end of the game, but without him, I mean, I still would have won, I guess, but it would have been a very close game. Debo, solid game. Chris Godwin, solid game. Ertz, solid game.
Ertz
Pollock,
has been elite this year. Like,
I've loved
I
him.
have him in another league, and he's been fire. Like,
And with Marquise Brown out and D Hop back, who I also have, I'll be playing a wide receiver one and a tight end one. I mean, I know it's on the same team, but they've both been playing. I mean, not Hopkins yet, but Ertz has been playing.
Ertz maintains volume though, and Hopkins usurps like that #1 spot for Marquise.
Exactly. It
worked out. Yeah, I guess that's the other I guess I didn't mention that with my team, but Marquise Brown out indefinitely, at least a month. So my wide receiver one is now no longer. So unfortunate for me. But benefiting you now with DeAndre Hopkins coming back. So
I mean, honestly, I'll get into it later, but I think it benefits a different player a bit more. But as I said, I'll talk about it a bit later. I'm happy to have Amon-Ra coming back this week. Finally, we'll get a full production out of him. Hope to see my team at full strength this upcoming week. Glad to have beaten Matt L once again. I hope you see that, Matt.
Hold it.
All right. So high. First one we're gonna start off with. I got Michael Pittman for you. He obviously I mean, if you watch the game, Matt Ryan had his best game of the season, and I was kind of shocked to see that. And there's a lot of things you gotta take with a grain of salt. Jonathan Taylor wasn't playing. Obviously, they still have production at running back from Deion Jackson, which helps. But I mean, I think it's a different game when you're giving Jonathan Taylor 20 carries compared to however many Jackson got. And Jackson was more used in the receiving game too, which I mean, honestly helped Matt Ryan. Pittman, yeah, he had like 13 catches, something like that, I think. He had like 100 yards and maybe a touchdown. Solid game. I don't know if he had a touchdown, but solid game. I don't think he maintains it though. Overall, Matt Ryan, it's not looked good this year. And I know he had one good game, but you can't keep banking on that. I'd sell Pittman when he's got this value high right now.
It's a run first offense, like realistically.
You got to look at the big picture here. They're waiting for Taylor to come back. It's going to be a running team. They also played not the best defense. I mean, the Jaguars secondary hasn't been the best. But you know, you want to get in yours, Anthony?
Yeah. So maybe a little bit of like an interesting one. Maybe a bit speculative, but I'm going with Lamar. And the reason I am mostly is because he is questionable this week. Now, he's probably going to play. Does not say that he's going to miss the game. But it's week 7, and we're starting to see Lamar get banged up. I think the way he plays, you know, I mean, he's a runner, physical guy. He's starting to get banged up. It's a hip injury. He'll probably play. And I think their next few matchups are, you know, against some solid teams. They play Cleveland, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, then they have a bye. So, you know, he gets to the bye. After the bye, they have Carolina, Jacksonville, but then Denver, Pittsburgh, and then like, I don't know. It's not like they really have a lot of easy matchups coming up. It's going to be like close games, especially the way they've been playing. And it's going to be grueling games for Lamar Jackson. And I think just him being questionable now on the injury report, it's not, you know, may not impact his production this week and may not take him off of the field this week, but it's something that, you know, it's going to start to add up. And he's been producing at a really high level. It's not to say that he won't still produce at a level that's better than most quarterbacks, but this is the peak of his value. And if you leverage it right, you could probably get something for Lamar that when it comes time for the playoffs is going to be worth a lot more than Lamar is. So something to consider. Maybe, you know, maybe not something for this week that, you know, is a pressing need, but Lamar is definitely someone who, if you have him, might be worth looking to get rid of him, seeing what you can get for him.
Definitely.
And then for buy low, I'm going with Amari Cooper here. Now, this is kind of a similar thinking to with Lamar, but in reverse. he's been like a solid receiver so far for the Browns this year. Their number one receiving target, him and Njoku have been leading that passing game. But we've seen this Browns offense, especially with this last game. I mean, Amari Cooper is still performing, but that offense with Brissett's a solid QB. He's not doing enough for this Browns team. But I think we're still seeing Cooper getting these targets, and a similar type thing when not Deshaun Jackson. Oh my God. When Deshaun Watson comes back later in the season, that's going to be another thing closer to the playoffs. Who's gonna, we could see a jump in production, and we could see his value increase to like top, I don't know what he's ranked right now, but to like top 15, 10 receiver. He has that level of upside if that offense can actually pass the ball. So while he's sitting in like the 20s, the teens right now for his ranking at the position, I think now is a good time to jump in and then just hold on him. He can be a flex or wide receiver 2 for you, and then eventually maybe be your wide receiver 1 or someone who wins you the league.
I agree. Just to note, that's actually Donovan Peoples-Jones in that photo.
Is that Peoples-Jones? They're two different. Okay, that's supposed to be Amari Cooper. I downloaded like Mad Browns, but okay, we'll get into the next. I was deciding between the two of them, but
no worries at all. I'm gonna get in mine. Yeah, I chose Rondale Moore. I mentioned this earlier. With Marquise Brown going down, I think Rondale Moore is gonna get a lot more targets. I mean,
yes,
he's already getting fed the ball a lot, like in carries, a lot of targets from Kyler Murray. I know they brought in Robbie Anderson, but is Robbie Anderson really the answer? Like, is he going to be getting targets immediately after he's supposed to play Thursday night? But I don't see him getting more than 5 targets, more than a few targets. He can't know the playbook. I expect Rondale Moore and D-Hop to see a lot of production this week. And if Rondale Moore is a free agent, I'd say pick him up. If not, buy him low now. Definitely someone to pick up right now in your league. Waiver wires, as I just mentioned, there's Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's also on the waiver wire. I think he's of note.
So that's why I was thinking about doing him for my waiver wire. So yeah, that's
pretty funny. But then we got Darnell Mooney here. I think there's a few receivers that are worthy of picking up, like Rondale Moore. I think Robbie Anderson, if he is a free agent, so maybe worth picking up. Maybe worth it in a deeper league, and if you have a lot of
Sammy Watkins
comes back as a guy. But yeah, so Darnell Mooney, he's been getting some targets recently from Fields. Fields has started to look better. Obviously you can see drop this. This was the last play of the game. I was pretty happy about it as a Commanders fan, but he didn't make the catch. He's proven he can make hard catches, difficult catches with defense on him. And I think if Fields can get him the ball, which he's been throwing it to him more, it could be big. I actually picked him up in this league, and I'm excited to see if he can continue to be productive. He's been productive the last 2 weeks. Could be worthy of a flex spot in the future. We'll see. But yeah.
And then instead of Donovan Peoples-Jones, I decided, no, I'm going to go with the kicker because waivers are trash. I went with Taylor Bertolet. Bertolet, is that how you're supposed to say it? Bertolet?
Couldn't tell you.
Dustin Hopkins was limping around the field, hurting himself to win them this game, to win them their last game. So Bertolet's starting this week, and I think in that offense, he's going to be pretty, I think he's pretty effective. I think it's good to have a plus kicker. He played once earlier this season and got 12 points. If you're getting 10 plus points out of a kicker, it's worth it. So if your kicker's on a bye week, you needed to drop him, your kicker's just been disappointing, I would say pick him up at least this week. And for as long as Hopkins is out and struggling with, I think it was a hamstring injury, go for it. He's a starter, and very small sample size, 1 week sample size, but he hit all his field goals. He hit his extra points. He seems like a reliable guy and a good offense. I'd rock with him. All right. So
this is the moment we've been waiting for. Week 7 is coming up. Got a big matchup this week. 2 and 4 teams coming in for a big matchup. Losers, as I mentioned with Anthony before this Zoom call, I'd say eliminated. Or not in good shape at least. I maybe not eliminated. That might be a bit too harsh, but
It's not looking good for whoever loses this matchup. And
as you can see in our expressions,
yeah, so this is serious. We're fighting to
mhm.
the, fighting to the death. This is a big matchup. Both of us need to win, so we're going to be putting everything into this matchup. This is a lot. And we're going to be breaking this down by position. So we've set it up so we have, our starting lineups in right now. We've broken it down. We're going to kind of go through each position, kind of see who's better, who's looking like they're going to win this week, just kind of based off of the matchups and what we're doing so far. So yeah, let's get into it.
First off, we'll start at QB. Got Tom Brady. Tom Brady going up against the Panthers. Should be solid. They just, as I mentioned earlier, they got kind of killed by the Steelers. Not killed, but the Steelers defense looked good against. I mean, they were missing people against the Bucs, which Tom Brady's not going to take that. He's going to bounce back. I could see him scoring 20 to 25 this week, depending on how they score touchdowns if they don't run it.
Depending on whether or not he texts Giselle.
Basically, yeah. Give him some fire. But yeah, I honestly think I'll probably end up winning this matchup against Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I was thinking about, I think Geno Smith is still, you dropped Geno Smith and he's still on waivers, so I might pick him up. I'm not sure, but he's on waivers, so someone has to claim him. If there's a claim in for him, I'm not submitting another claim this week. So I'm rocking with Heineke for right now, but yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. You got this one.
Oh yeah.
All right, now RB1, for some reason, you are projected better than me here. So I guess you on paper win this one, but Chubb going up against Baltimore. I don't really think it matters who Nick Chubb goes up against. He's kind of a dog. He's RB2 right now. Just because last week he only got 7 points, a little bit of a dud, but I think he's going to rebound. I think especially I don't know. I just think that team has to lean into the running game more. I think Chubb is going to have to be a part of it. Dameon Pierce, though, is no slouch. I can't be mad. I think it's weird that Pierce is projected for higher, I guess just based off of the matchup in particular. They're playing against Vegas, but Pierce is good. I wouldn't be mad if Pierce was projected for 15 points or right around Chubb. So, big matchup. I feel like it's probably even, but I don't know. Could go either way.
I think it definitely could go either way. Pierce is going up against Las Vegas. Could score around 60 points. I think is fair. He's been scoring 20 a game. Should be close. I'd probably give it to Chubb, but I'd say by a point or two. I don't think it's gonna be significant. Let's get an RB2. I don't have much of a choice this week. I don't really have a solid RB2 yet. Still kind of trying to trade around for one. So I'm playing Pollard, who's projecting 10 points against the Lions, whose defense has not been too good. Against D. Henry, I don't love that matchup. I think Henry will probably outscore him by 5 to 10. But if Pollard could break a couple touchdowns, I could see this being close.
Yeah, this matchup is probably the biggest discrepancy amongst any of them, and definitely the one I need the most. I'm really relying on. It's a big debut week for Henry. I need my running backs to do well, especially because your receivers are way better than mine. So Debo, yeah, I mean, Mike Evans is I don't know what he's pointing towards. He needs to be getting closer to the end zone and stop fighting people and, just do better. He's projected for 11 points. There are a lot of weapons in that offense. If you are right about Brady and they bounce back against Carolina,
you should get a touchdown.
But Debo against KC, I think, is kind of Debo's shown what he can do. He's been consistent. He's wide receiver 10 right now. I think that's kind of self-explanatory. I'm not mad at that. I think you win that pretty easy.
He's been solid. I honestly, you seem to think I'm gonna win this by a bit. I could see it being close. I think if I do win it, it'll be by a few points.
Yeah.
You never know with this. I could see you end up winning this one too. Let's get in the next wide receiver 2. Very excited about this guy being back. D-Hop. We actually got a former Cardinal on the right and Cardinal on the left here. finally back after doing, I think, drop from doing.
Yeah, it was a PED suspension, but he said it was like an accident and whatever.
I trust him. I mean, he's my guy on. Yeah, I'm not asking questions. I think against the Saints defense, this could be a big week. It could be a high scoring game. I hope so. It's on Thursday night. I'm sure he's hyped to be back. He's gonna make a play. I think this one could be a little bit more of a discrepancy. Here.
Yeah.
I think I could win this one by 5 to 10.
Yeah.
Kind of depends how Kirk ends up playing, but yeah, what do you think?
If Kirk gets his volume in, like Kirk's been disappointing the last few weeks. He did get a touchdown last week. If he gets his volume in and targets, or maybe hits the end zone, he'll do all right. But he's starting to turn into more of a touchdown dependent play. So I definitely think you have the edge on this one, and I agree. The discrepancy there could be serious.
Yeah.
So and here it is going to be very, very serious. Your flex and tight end destroy mine. I'm going with AJ Dillon and Kyle Pitts. Pitts got his first touchdown of the season last week, so maybe he'll be doing better. Maybe he's trending upwards and we can expect more of him. But like we said, Zach Ertz has been elite this season, so I'm not really sure, if he's going to be able to outperform Ertz at tight end. And then AJ Dillon, I needed to start someone. My bench isn't very deep. It was between AJ Dillon, Renfro, Tyler Algier again, and Antonio Gibson's never starting for me again. I don't know what, I'm really just not cutting him because Brian Robb, I don't know, like handicap. That's just,
you might as well keep him.
Really yeah, but AJ Dillon starting, Amon-Ra blows him out of the water. Amon-Ra could be a wide receiver one for a lot of teams in this league. He could be my wide receiver one this week. So to have him at flex is like, this is done so.
It's against the Cowboys D, which is solid defense. I think 16 is a bit high. I think he gets 10,
probably a bit high.
10 to 20 on the high side if I'm lucky. I would say about 10 I'd be happy with at least. I think I do end up winning this matchup. Commanders D should put up a fight against the shaky Packers.
You think?
Let's get into tight end here. We got Zach Ertz with 10.2 projected against Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, no,
I think Ertz should win this one. It could be a bit closer. Pitts has been inconsistent, but if he does have a touchdown too, I think Pitts could end up winning this one.
Yeah, so he got his first one of the season. Hopefully it gets better from here. I don't know.
I could see that happening. It should be close, but I'll give the slight edge to Ertz here. And then
I don't know. Okay, you're back. Hello. All right.
Cool.
All right.
Last but not least, we got kickers and defenses.
Yeah.
So I got Jets defense, just a waiver wire stream going up against the Broncos, who have sucked. I'm very happy about that. Glad I got them off waivers. Honestly, I think it'll be a close matchup. Defense is always like a coin flip. Yeah, and kicker, like those are both it could go anyway. I don't see this being a factor in the game. I think it's good to include though. I think this is, I'm not gonna give a real who I think is gonna win. I think it could be either way for both these.
Yeah, I'll say both of these are even. The defenses are projected for the same, and Jason Myers and Brandon McManus have scored the same amount of points so far this season. They're both positioned like 6 for kicker. So this truly is just a toss up, but depending on the matchups, so one more sack, one more interception, missed field goal here or there, it could add up depending on how close this matchup ends up being. So yeah, I guess just the final overview. We showed you all a bunch of numbers. Here's what it all adds up to. Jacob is projected right now to beat me. Maybe not. It's close. It's close, but comfortable.
Advantage. Look at all those check marks on the left side. I mean,
yeah, it really is just Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is making up for all of that, and I'm really relying on my running backs to carry me through this week. Depending on what happens at QB, maybe switch out Heineke. Maybe that'll bump me up a few points. If Gino's still available tomorrow morning, that might be my starter going into Sunday. We'll see. But I don't know. Big matchup though. Regardless, I think I think it will end up being close. And this is like we were saying throughout dropping to 2-5 is
Brutal.
gonna be brutal.
Brutal.
Dropping to 2-5 if UK wins is gonna make you tied for last. So to drop the last place after this week would be really unfortunate. We don't want to see that. So I'm hoping to win. I'm hoping you lose. You know, obviously you want to win, but
Obviously, I think the opposite. So I'm excited for this matchup though. I think this is my team almost at full potential. I still want to get, I think I have enough power to get another decent running back of trade power or like bench depth. With like Chris Godwin and Chris Olave both being on my bench and some backup running backs, including Akers and Hunt. But I think this matchup should be close. I hope to see my team win. Yeah, I think it'll ultimately come down to how well like my receivers play. They're
it's
all
receivers versus running backs. I feel like
they're all, I think they're all going to get me at least 10. It's just if they go the extra mile and get me 25, 30. If one or two of them could do that, I think I should be fine. Hopefully at least. Knock on wood.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Yeah. So thanks for joining us again.
True.
Next week.